Shalom, Havadim. You know what? I almost missed saying shalom to you guys because I forgot I have my phone on that timer, so it goes 1, 2, 3, and then I can come on. So I'm looking at my phone like, why is it counting back to me? You know, sometimes I have my slow moments, okay? But this is not a Shabbat chill and chat, but it's definitely a Shabbat. So Shabbat Shalom to everybody. I had to start over. I started recording a few minutes ago on this new little, on my phone that I had attached to a new phone holder, this gadget I have in my car. It's new. I was thinking it was going to help stabilize my videos because when I'm in my car, my truck, anyway, the shocks on my truck is just, I really don't have any. So that's why my videos sometimes are kind of shaky. But nevertheless, I am in a good mood. It is Shabbat. I'm on my way to get me some good coffee because I ran out of some at the house. Abba has me feeling good this morning. Okay. So I just wanted to come on and just, Havar, fellowship with y'all for a minute and just let you know that Abba is good. You know what happened this morning, and I'm sure that some of you parents can relate, and some of you married people can relate. So I told my son, now everyone knows, you guys know my son is grown, okay? Not grown, he's a young man, but he's, of that age of accountability where you know that if mama say I'm leaving this morning to go get some coffee, if I'm leaving whatever and you're home and I say, do you want to come with me? And you say yes, that's it. I'm not going to repeat myself. So anyway, I got dressed. He said, okay. I said, I'm getting up in 20 minutes, about 30 minutes past. I got up, got dressed, and he went back to sleep. I just closed his door to his room and kept it pushing. But it just reminded me of Abba, of what Abba, when he tells us things. And we're like, oh, okay, I understand. I get it. I understand that, Father. And then a little time passes, and we act like we've never had this conversation with him. Or that we don't remember what he said, right? And then we go back to him and we're like, well, Abba, what happened? And he's like, what? What do you mean what happened? It reminds me of when Yeshua, when he walked the earth and he told his Talmudim, he told his, the disciples, the prophets, he told them, while I'm here, take heed, remember what I'm telling you. And when I leave, don't forget what I told you. Like when he was there, he was giving them all this instruction, for all this time. And so when he left, he was telling them also, he was telling us, don't forget what I said. Don't forget me, basically. And then we run into these situations, right, where we're like, oh, I'm going through this, or this happened, and although Yeshua was here for, thousands of years ago, this is something new. What do I do? What am I supposed to do? But it's not new, because anything that you're going through, you can find it in the Word. And the bottom line is, if you're pitching your tent with him, he's going to bring it back up in your Ruach. His Ruach is going to remind you. But sometimes we get so caught up into what we have going on that we forget that when he was here, he told us, take heed of my words and don't forget what I tell you. Basically, don't go in your room and fall asleep and act like we never had this conversation, because then you're gonna miss out. I know I'm being silly, but that's just me. That's just how I am. I like to, everything in my life, when you're pitching your tent with him, you can kind of relate anything in your life. And sometimes, like if me and my son, if we'll have a conversation, or just me and someone else, not just my son, if you're married, it could be your spouse, And then when you leave the house, your spouse, your husband, your wife is like, wait, was I supposed to do this or what happened? But it's like, we just had this conversation. You forgot already? Okay. All right. So yeah, when you're pitching your tent with him, you can kind of relate anything to that. And because I'm such a silly, happy person, and I think I'm even more silly and more happy, even happier since I've been walking with Abba. I can relate anything to that. And if I tell my son or someone else and bring that up, they're kind of like rolling their ass like, okay, here she go. But it's true, man. It's like, hey, you better pay attention. You better pay attention so you won't be wasting any time. We have no time to waste time, right? Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great Shabbat. I hope y'all had a good week. I had a really good week. YHWH, oh my gosh, he just, when he comes through for us, as a family, as the mishpacha, but also when he shows us his amazing, miraculous ways individually for our own certain individual circumstances, it's absolutely undeniable. And he's come through for me this week in a way that if I wasn't pitching my tent, I would be like, I'd probably want to really question my sanity. Like, I would really be like, wait a minute, how did this happen or how did that happen? I'm sure that some of you can relate, but it's just so amazing each and every time. And there's nothing we can say. There's nothing that we can say to really express to Abba our gratitude. All he wants us to do is just keep him with us and remember him and continue pitching our tent with him. That's really all we can do. We can pray to him and get into emotionalism and, oh my goodness, Abba, thank you, I love you so much. And that's fine. I mean, if it's heartfelt, it's nothing wrong with that. That's fine if it's heartfelt. But above all, he just wants, above all, he just wants us to, I hit my phone with my hand. Sorry about that, you guys. Above all, he just wants us to continue keeping him with us, And because, again, I'm so silly, and I think of Abba, I think of YHWH, just as like, okay, bam, it's done. I did that for you. Now let's move on. Moving on. Moving on next. Let's get on to the next miracle. Let's get on to the next pitching of the tent. This tent is up. You went in there. You slept. You came out. You was washed. Now let's keep it moving. We in this camp. It's like, and it's like, oh, Abba, I love you. Thank you so much. And he's like, okay, great. I know this already. Just keep doing what you're doing. I love you too. Let's keep it, keep it pushing. Right. You're at the door. You're at the door. My son is coming in a minute, but it's just amazing. I'm just being silly because I'm just filled with so much headwa. And, I guess another thing I wanted to, as you can tell, this was not planned. I guess another thing I wanted to talk about is, sometimes I get messages from people in the mishpacha and outside of the mishpacha, Havarim, or just people that have issues that come up in their life or that just want to talk. You know how you can tell even in a text message or on Messenger when someone they just want to talk. They might not have anything necessarily to, how can I put this? They might not necessarily have a question, but they just want to vent to you. And what I say with that is, sometimes it's nothing wrong with that, because it might be where YHWH has sent them in your life or sent you in their life because maybe they just really don't have anyone else that they trust to vent to or that will allow them to speak their voice. Because we all have a voice, and it's nothing wrong. Every single person on this earth has a voice. It's nothing wrong with having a voice. And as long as they're not disrespectful, try to take that as an opportunity to witness your love for Elohim, to esteem him to that person. Try to, be patient. And, it's not always about, well, you know what to do, or, well, what happened? Just being very, very heavy-handed with the person. Sometimes it's just about patience. While you're listening to them or while you're reading that, let the Ruach guide you in how you want to respond to that person, because this could be the perfect opportunity for you to really let them know who you value in your life, which is Elohim, and show them by a story, by an example of what he brought you through. And it just might be that small thing that Abba uses to insert his seed to start to sprout in them, the good seed. You just never know. And, I get messages, I get emails. I mean, if you're watching this, you know who you are. And, it's thank you, Vanessa, for listening. Most people want to, this word reprove. It's just so churchy to me. Want to correct me and come down on me or tell me I should know better. And it's like, when you come to a certain stage in your life, yeah, you should. But if you're just wanting to express your frustrations, because we're going to have them in this world until we leave, it's nothing wrong with that. But once someone listens, like me, if I listen and I'm patient and I insert my witness to you of, man, listen, look at all these things that Abba has brought me through. Look at everything that I was going through, and it wasn't overnight. It was a progression. Now, I do tell you what I believe was overnight. What he did do for me, that was not overnight, but it was instant, was, I talked about this in another video, is I used to have really horrible, I guess, night terrors, but we know they're demonic attacks. I mean, really bad. My whole life, I used to see entities and these weird astral spiders, which I won't even really get into anymore because I don't want to give any esteem to darkness. But YHWH, he came through for me in an instant. So that I can't say that wasn't progressive. He was like, bam, he was there when I called out to him, because my heart, and I would only say maybe because my heart had been passionately calling out for him. And then when I said out loud with my mouth and called on, and I called on the name Jesus at the end, because I didn't know Yeshua. I didn't know that name. I had never even heard that name before. But I called the name Jesus, but my heart was screaming Yeshua. You see how that works? So that was in an instant. And it might not work like that for everybody, because he knows everybody's hearts and everyone is different. Their path, their way, their progressive walk is different. But in a whole, progressively, us learning the cyclical teachings and miracles and the word of YHWH through Yeshua and the Ruach HaKodesh is progressive. Everyone's walk is different. So you get to a certain point where there are things that you should know, but what you do is you use that example. Sorry about that, going back to if someone comes to you and they're venting. The Ruach he'll give you wisdom through, I'm sorry, not the Ruach, YHWH through the Ruach will give you wisdom. And you can tell, I can tell pretty easily when someone is just being heartfelt and sincere and they just really want someone to listen to them, but they are they have anguish and a desire to want better for what's going on in their life. Then you can very smoothly through the Ruach, he will allow you to insert your witness and show them what you've come through and where you are and where YHWH is taking you. And you can introduce them to the live streams, the Havar on Tuesday, Thursdays, and today on Shabbat, and let them know, hey, just come in and listen. You don't have to get in the chat, but just come in and listen and be fed. If you do want to get in the chat, it's great. I mean, the chat and the live stream is great because it allows you to be amongst other true believers that just want the truth. You could do that. And then there are times where the Ruach will have you, stand off with people. And there's a lot of times, I said this before in another video, there's a lot of times I get messages from people. No, I can't say a lot, but there's been a few times in the past. I just don't respond. And that's my way of just letting them know I can't relate to nothing you saying, like nothing. And that's because the indwelled Ruach is like, that's not for us. No. And sometimes I'll block that person, but sometimes I'll just ignore them until they come on back. Come on back, you know. But Yahweh is good, and he is patient, and he teaches us through his miracles and just through his beraha, just to be patient with one another and truly embrace each other with that love that surpasses all understanding, that love that the world doesn't understand. They don't understand it, you know. So, and Yeshua said, I mean, we will be recognized because of the love we have for one another. You know, the ahav that we have for one another is absolutely beautiful. But anyway, I'm going to get my coffee. I hope you all, I know that Yahweh will allow you all to be in such hadwa for today. It's been raining all week, off and on. But I've been putting up posts that in Oakland it's raining, but it's still the perfect day because Yahweh has made it. And I will rejoice in it. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for the live stream. Come on in the room. Come on in the chat. Fellowship with us. If you have a question, ask it. Be in good spirits. Let your Ruach rest today with his Ruach, the only Ruach that matters. Shabbat Shalom. Till the next one.